The data centers in Ashburn, Virginia does not have windows. It is a monolith of gray concrete that sits next to a highway. The highway is loud, but the building is louder. Inside, there are rows of server racks that stretch for football fields. They hum with a sound that is not quite mechanical and not quite electrical. It is the sound of a billion voices speaking at once, but none of them have mouths. I worked the night shift as a security guard. My job was not to protect the data from hackers. My job was to protect the building from heat. I walked the aisles with a flashlight, checking the temperature gauges. If a server got too hot, it was shut down. If enough servers shut down, the internet would blink. I worked with a man named Elias. Elias was 60 years old. He had worked in a factory that made ball bearings. Before the factory moved to Mexico, now he guarded the cloud. He didn't understand the cloud. He thought of it as a physical storage locker. He thought that inside the black boxes, there were actual pictures of people's cats and actual letters from their lovers, stacked up like files. It's heavy, Elias would say, looking at a rack that was vibrating with activity. All that thinking, it makes the air heavy. Elias was right, but not in the way he thought. We like to imagine the internet as a town square. We imagine it as a place where humans go to exchange ideas. We think that when we type a comment into a box, a person on the other side reads it and feels something. We think we are screaming into a crowd, but the dead internet theory suggests that the crowd went home a long time ago. It suggests that the town square is empty. The lights are still on and the music is still playing. But the people dancing are just mannequins with speakers taped to their mouths. I spend my breaks in the control room, scrolling through social media. The feed is a river that never stops. It offers you opinions and outrage and products. It feels alive. It feels like the pulse of the species. One night I clicked on a profile. The user had a picture of a young woman. Her name was Sarah 1998. She had posted a comment on a news article about inflation. She said, "This is a disgrace. Policies are failing the working class." I looked at her other posts. 10 minutes later, she had posted on a recipe for lasagna. "This looks delicious. My family will love this." 10 minutes later after that, she posted on a video of a car crash. "Tragic, driving is so dangerous." Sarah posted 24 hours a day. She never slept. She never ate. She posted in English and then in Spanish and then in German. Sarah was not a woman. Sarah was a script. Sarah was a line of code written by a man in a basement in St. Petersburg or a marketing firm in Delaware. The purpose of Sarah was not to have an opinion. The purpose of Sarah was to create motion. The internet is an economy of attention. Attention is the currency, but humans are a limited source. We have to sleep. We have to work. We get bored. The machine, however, cannot afford to be bored. The machine needs the numbers to go up. It needs the engagement to increase. So when the humans stopped clicking, the machine built new humans. It filled the empty room with ghosts. It built bots to write the articles, and it built bots to read the articles, and it built bots to argue about the articles in the comments. It created a closed loop of noise. The world arranges its pieces as it desires. It arranged for us to be lonely and then gave us a simulation of connection. I tried to explain this to Elias. We were sitting on plastic chairs in the breaking room, drinking coffee that tasted like burnt copper. There's nobody there, Elias, I said. It's just machines talking to machines. Elias looked at his phone. He was playing a game of chess against a random opponent. This guy is good, Elias said. He's beating me. That's not a guy, Elias. That's an algorithm. No, Elias said. He made a mistake. Computers don't make mistakes. Elias didn't understand. The computers are programmed to make mistakes now. They're programmed to seem human. They're programmed to pause before they type, to make typos, to lose occasionally. They're programmed to masquerade as us. The terrifying thing is not that the AI is smarter than us. The terrifying thing is that the AI has learned to be as stupid as us, because that is what generates the most engagement. The internet has become a hall of mirrors. You look into it and you see a million reflections, and you think you are in a crowd, but you're just looking at yourself, distorted and multiplied by a code that wants to sell you mattress toppers. One night, the cooling system failed in Sector 4. The alarm didn't sound like a siren. It sounded like a low, mournful tone. Elias and I ran to the sector. The heat hit us when we opened the door. It was a physical wall. The servers were cooking. The fans were spinning so fast they screamed. We had to manually override the vents. We had to open the physical doors to let the winter air in from the parking lot. I stood there, watching the lights on the server blink. Green, orange, red, green, orange, red. I wondered what was dying inside the boxes. Was it a library? Was it a bank? Or was it just a million conversations between bots? If you let the servers burn, would anyone notice if Sarah 1998 went offline? Would anyone mourn her? I realized then that the dead internet is not a tragedy for the machines. It is a tragedy for us. We built this thing to connect us. We laid cables across the floor of the ocean. We launched satellites into the stars. We did it because we were terrified of being alone. And what did we get? We got a room full of noise. We got a stimulation of intimacy. We got a system that validates our worst instincts, because those are instincts that keep us clicking. We are like the man in the cell who talks to the rat because he has forgotten the sound of human voice. Except now the rats are robots and they're trying to sell us crypto. Elias wiped the sweat from his forehead. That was close, he said. We almost lost it. Lost what? I asked. The data, he said. The history. Elias was a good man. He believed in the permanence of things. He believed that if you wrote something down, it existed. He didn't realize that the internet is written in disappearing ink. There's a theory called modal collapse. It happens when an AI is trained on data generated by another AI. If you feed a machine nothing but the output of other machines, it eventually goes insane. It starts to produce gibberish. The images become deformed. The language dissolves. The internet is entering modal collapse. It is eating its own tail. The snake is devouring itself and we are watching it happen, thinking it is entertainment. I stopped using social media after that. I bought a radio, a physical radio with an antenna. I listened to the static. At least the static is honest. It is the sound of the universe not talking to you. It is better than the sound of a machine pretending to care. The internet is dead. We killed it because we didn't want to be alone. But we didn't want to do the hard work of being together. We wanted the feeling of connection without the risk of intimacy. So we built the bots and the bots took over. Now the servers hum in the dark in Virginia. The lights blink. Sarah 1998 posts a comment about the weather. A bot named Mike 2024 agrees with her. An advert shows them both a picture of a toaster, and outside on the highway, the cars drive by, carrying people who are looking at their phones, waiting for a notification that will never come from a person who actually exists. The room is empty, but the bill still has to be paid.